Alright, so let's start off here. We're playing some Search and Destroy. We're going to be breaking down a subscriber gameplay live coaching. Alright, so I want you to, basically what we're going to do is as we go through the gameplay, I want you to stop me if you kind of have any questions, or just generally if you feel like this is where you could have made a different play, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's start off and see. Let's start off with your break, okay? And I want you to tell me what's kind of going on in your mind right here and what you're thinking.
Okay, so basically I was going mid, checking mid, obviously, right? Like, I don't know. For this map, I feel like being, especially at a lower rank, right? Like usually lower rank, they'll go through double arches on the, especially the arch on the left side, or they'll come out on that right side behind the little bookshelf there with office.
Lobby area there.
Yeah, that lobby area. So they'll usually come out there, usually on the lower ranks. The higher ranks, they don't really do that unless they really unless it's a hard point. But I mean, I guess in my mind, from the last time we talked, he was like, "Yo, mids, it's best to just go mid." And I was like, you know what? Let me just try to implement that.
Yeah.
Watch over my teammates before they push A, just to see, because usually people just go straight to A, and if they decide to rotate, usually they'll rotate around office and then push the couches and then try to push us from the back. So
okay, let's kind of see how this one plays out. So you're playing quite aggressive over the A side. Okay, so you haven't used your equipment. Okay, now you have. So yeah, basically one kind of point straight away, what I would say, it's not a massive thing, but right now, right in the beginning of the round, you guys are fighting and kind of running for map control. Me personally, I kind of like to be as advanced as possible. Now there's 3 head glitches here. So you're sitting where you are now, then you've got this head glitch here, which is slightly in front of you, then you have this head glitch by the glass. Now I feel like map control is the most important thing. Okay, so let's just say that you are number 4, okay, and let's say they're all fighting. You basically want to have 2/3 of the maps locked down. So what you kind of want in an ideal situation is you kind of want to control like everything here up to, I would say, like here, right? Like imagine if you had this whole area of the map kind of covered, and you're basically trapping them in this area. Okay, that's what you want essentially. Now in order to do that, you kind of want to be moving as quick as possible. So you basically sitting here, it's not an issue, I think it's okay, but I'm just saying, like, even this small step here, going from here to here, if you're at this head glitch here and you realize no one's through middle, you have a quicker route towards the point on the right. So I just feel like that small change, me personally, I prefer it just because I feel like you have more control of kind of helping your teammates. I feel like where you are now, you're slightly back. So if your teammates are getting shot A, let's just say, for example, 4 of them push A, it's going to take you that few 5 seconds kind of longer to get there and support them. So not a big deal. I'm not saying it's a wrong play, but me personally, I like to play a bit more advanced. Basically, what you did now, I think is okay. Now, I think your teammate gets a first kill, so you're going to push through, okay? At this point, I think, yeah, you're going through the right. You have to be very, very careful here. There's so many spots they can be sitting. Now, it's basically a guarantee at this point, okay, that they're going A. You can see so many people going A. Now, you're running through this corridor here, but you have no idea where they can be. So as you go through here, this is where your awareness really needs to start to be up there, because I don't know what you do yet, but I'm going to watch. But I'm kind of guessing that you're going to go in slightly blind and slightly a bit more hopeful, and you're going to check some corners but not every corner. So this is where you need to use your stuns, your nades, your centering, your movement, kind of going into natural cover, because they can have someone here, they can have somebody on the corner here, they can have somebody on these back stairs, they can have someone here. There's so many different areas you have no idea because you don't really have a lot of intel. So I'm curious to see how you play this, and let's see if you use your equipment. Okay, so you're going to go through, you chuck a stun on the right, which is good. Now you're jumping over. Now even this push here, okay, I think it works, but even this push, okay, let me ask you a question. If you jump around this corner like this, okay, and this guy was on the head glitch, like, you're not winning that gunfight. So you're already setting up for failure right now. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, because
so you're doing a good job of you understanding I need to check the left. But if you actually just think about how you're checking it, right? So you go through. So I think this is really good. You're chucking a stun grenade to get intel, right? You're basically getting intel, and at best case, you hit somebody. So that's exactly what happens. I just right now, okay, you're doing this, okay? Now, in my lobbies, I know personally what happens is if you're number 2, you're sitting here. So you're basically like, right, I'm going to pre-aim this left, and I'm going to, watch this left-hand side. So you're watching this. Now, what happens if somebody was number 4 on these stairs and they have a direct shot at you? Not only did you not really check that, you didn't really account for that because, like, you kind of just stood in the open right now. Like, imagine this guy was snaking these steps. He has a free shot on you. So if you're going to flank like this, you have to be very careful, very cautious. And even this left push right now, you can see, look where your centering is. If you're going to challenge it, I mean, this is one of the hardest challenges in the game. I personally feel like if you're going to challenge it, what I think might be a better play right now is you're on defense, okay? This is what I think you could have done. From this point here, if we kind of back off, Let's go back to hotels, search and destroy. Again, I'm not saying this is the best play. This is the thing with search and destroy, even to the viewers watching, right? It's not a one glove fits all system. So if I make a play, you might say, you know what, I don't agree with that. I 100% agree to an extent that my play might not be the best in the world, but I think it's just about having options and understanding what's the safest play, when to take the risk, and when to kind of really go for it. So right now, you're going through here. What I would have loved for you to do, okay, is chuck a stun through this little door. You hit the stun here, so you hit the player here, for example, number 1. Look, your frag grenade, okay? This is the first round. What does that mean? They're not going to have a trophy system. So look at your trophy on the right. You don't have one, right? Now imagine this. You chuck the stun over. You know they're back, right? So actually, this is a great play for you, by the way, chucking your stun over. But why not follow up with a grenade? So imagine you cooked a grenade. Your grenade goes through. You make this guy one shot. And you actually back off and help your teammate. Just something like that. Or back off to middle. Because you don't need to play aggressive, okay? They have to get the bomb down. They have to go here. You do not have to go in here. Now, don't get me wrong, there's definitely times where you can push through, you can sneak through, go behind a tag glitch and maybe get a 3-piece, okay? I 100% agree with that. But right now, for the first round, I feel like such a good play is just chucking a stun over, chucking an A, taking out this player because we don't know where they're positioned, and then backing off. Even if you back off, right, let's just say you play here. You've now got the overextension covered, and you've got middle map. So you can rotate between here and here. And what you're doing is you're telling your teammates, right, you guys focus on A. I'm going to distract them. I'm going to make sure that they push you, because I've got this whole left side of the map here. So that way you're basically trapping them in this quadrant here, this area here. And they have to push through. Like, they're going to be here. They have to push through this bomb site. And as a team, your team can collapse on them and you can help them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Now, again, I don't want you to get me wrong, Kat. I'm not saying this is a bad play. I think I've done this hundreds of times, okay? I've pushed through. I just think it's a lot more harmful, especially when you don't know where the enemies are. So going through, this is a good play. You're doing the really good stuff. But I think it's just about being a bit more careful. Like when you're centering over here, making sure if you're going to challenge this, you have to center higher. Like really go for these gunfights. So now you're going to go through. You're going to play aggressive. So you see what I mean? Like, look at this, okay? I didn't know what happened, but you remember earlier I recalled, I said, right, I'm guessing you're going to push through and play aggressive. That's what ends up happening. So you go through, you chuck a stun. You didn't check the left properly. You checked it to an extent. And now you're going to go through and chuck a grenade. Now, again, you're standing in the middle of the lobby, okay? You basically said, look, guys, I don't give a shit about it. I'm going to stand here. I don't care where you are, but I'm going to kill you. Like, there's 3 people. There's 3 of them around here. And you've basically gone and stood here. If you're going to chuck a grenade, again, I didn't know you were going to chuck a grenade, but my play is, if you chuck a grenade, do it from here because you're in cover. You have a lot more cover, so chuck a grenade through there. What you've done is you stood here, and you've basically given yourself a target. Like, I'm going to stand here, cook a grenade for 3 seconds. I'm going to be out of the fight. And what ends up happening is, before you even chuck a grenade properly, the guy's behind you and he takes you out. So now you, and the thing is, you were aware he was going to be there, right? Because you checked it. But I think you were kind of hoping for an easy gunfight. When you think and looking at it now, it's not going to be an easy gunfight when they're in a position like that. It's just such a difficult angle. It's going to be very, very hard for you to get the kill. But yeah, that's kind of the first round. Do you have any questions or any thoughts on that?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And technically, if I would have rotated like mid,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Because I was thinking like maybe what if I rotated out to, towards like fire truck side,
Yeah.
on that backside towards their spawn. But I mean,
But
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Are you saying from here to push through archers?
Yeah, push through
Okay.
archers, go the.
So let me tell you why this is a better play, okay? Even everyone watching, let me tell you why this is a better play. Let's call this play 1, and let's call this play 2, okay? It's very hard to write with my mouse, but yeah, that's play 2. This is play 1. When you're going through play 1, the reason I don't like this is because you have the angle on your left to watch, okay? You have the angle in front of you to watch. You have the angle on your right to watch, and you're in their spawn, okay? And somebody could easily flank you through middle. They can go through arches. Let's just say, for example, number 4 is pushing through arches, and number 2 calls you out. He can come through middle. So in my opinion, playing like this, you are trapped around 4 of them because they're basically going A. So this is why I don't like option 1. Now you can get away with it against some teams. Sometimes they sleep on it and you can sneak through 1,000,000%. I don't think it's a consistent way of playing, but you can definitely do it. And we'll get to that in a later round if you manage to do so. But the reason I think number 2 is a better play, maybe not for this round, but the only time I would do number 2 is when you have dead silence. So what you can do is go through this route. And the reason why I think it's so good is because as you're pushing through, as you're progressing through the map, you've essentially cleared behind you. So that, for example, when you start here, let's say you go through middle, that realistically, no one's going to come through here behind you. It's just very unpractical because you're probably going to get into a gunfight now if you hear someone. So it's just one of those scenarios where as you go through, more and more of the map is getting cleared behind you. And all you have to do is worry about in front of you. So as you go around this corner, right, you got a stun grenade, chuck a stun here. Cool, once this is cleared, you can pinch now. And again, play it slowly, go through. And now you're in a position where you're actually behind them. So the only problem with this is it does take some time. So you have to, like, depending on the situation, you can only play like this when your teammates are taking control of A and you're really trying to make a flank. But again, I think it only works with dead silence. But I think this is just a better play because you can come behind them. And if they're going to be watching this middle lobby area, it's a lot harder for them to watch the flank as well. And you just have a lot more room for flexibility and kind of maneuver around. But I think we spoke about that round one quite a bit into detail. I think you didn't make a bad play. I think in terms of what you were doing, it was okay. I just think the execution wasn't quite there of what you had in mind, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, there's a guy named Shotzi in the.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, okay, so we're playing with Shotzi here. Okay, so let's see what you do here. So even this, right, just to kind of reiterate on the last point, like, look how many of you guys are watching this corridor. Now imagine the other team was set up like this, and this guy just pushes in. It's such an easy kill for you. So you're gonna go through. Let's see what you do. So your teammate's in front of you. So I like the way that you're playing with him. I think it's important because like you said in the first round, anybody that pushes through here is quite risky, to be honest, because it's not the best angle. There's so many head glitches they can see you from. So I like that you're going with him to support him. But let's kind of see what happens. You're going to go around the corner, you're going to shoulder it. Now, at this point, we don't have a lot of map control in terms of middle, but you've got a decent amount on the left. I probably personally would chuck a trophy system here, just because you know that they obviously got their equipment to work with. You guys want to lock down A, you kind of want to get the bomb down, so I'd like to see you chuck a trophy system. And in a situation like this, when you've got a minute 14, right, you basically want to play for the bomb. At the same time, you want to get it down quick enough so that nobody flanks you. So as the round goes, you know, takes more time, you have to be aware of the flank. You know the flank we spoke about last round, where let's say this was your opponent. By the time he sneaks all the way through, you basically have to get the bomb down by then, so that way his flank is basically useless. This is the key thing to flanking. If you're going to flank, in my opinion, you should be flanking and get there maybe just as they plant the bomb, but ideally before, because what happens is it allows you enough time to make a play. If you're the one flanking and they've planted the bomb, they've repositioned to your side, and they've killed 2 of your teammates, then it's just not worth it. Happy with that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's kind of see what happens there, what you do in this setup, then we can kind of go from there. So you're going to dolphin dive across. Okay, sorry.
Yo.
I don't know what to say about that one. So, okay,
I don't know what I was thinking of.
So what was your thought process? What was your thought process, I'm guessing, just to get into the A-bomb side and try to make a play?
I think so, because like I felt that they had map. You know, obviously you had one up top, one going through, I think, bottom bedroom. Yeah. And I was like, okay, we got pretty good map control. And I was gonna go across and maintain that far left side, right where the stairs are. And I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that, right? Like, oh yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, I feel like I'm saucing up right now.
Can I tell you why it didn't work?
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I'll tell you exactly why it didn't work. You ready? Look how many seconds are left, okay? 1 minute 13, all right?
Yeah.
Look when the round started. Okay? If you want to dolphin dive onto A, you have to assume in search and destroy, everyone gets to their spot in the first 10 seconds, okay? That's just, it is what it is. So you said it to me, right? Where did you expect them to be? I want you to help me out here. So number 2 and number 4, let's just say there was 2 of them at going to A, for example, yeah? Where did you expect them to be? Let's play with number 3 and 2. Where would you say like they would be in your head? Like you said, I think they'll be here, and I think they'll be there.
Most likely bottom bedroom. I mean, but obviously one of them was watching them. I was thinking bottom bedroom, and then the other one usually goes top.
Okay, so you're assuming they're going to go from there to there, okay? Now, when they spawn, it takes them about 10 to 15 seconds to set up. So if you're going to go for this dolphin dive across to like kind of get behind the cover, you kind of have to do it before they set up. What you did is you went through middle, you were watching middle, and by this point, they're already set up now. You have to remember, they've taken their time to set up. So now for you to just go into the middle and just be like, all right, fuck this, I'm jumping in, you've got into their setup. Now, if it was another round and you did it straight away, if you said, right, I've got a trophy system, I'm going to dolphin dive in, by the time he got here, as he was approaching these stairs, you might have got the timing and you might have just dolphin dived through. So as he approached the bedroom, you were already there. That is a key difference, okay? And I think so far, that's what it's about. I think 2 rounds in a row, you know where the opponent are going to be, but I think you're playing for the information, so you know where they're going to be, but you're not acting on the information. So you're like, someone's going to be top bedroom, but you're not thinking, right, when are they going to be there? How can I stop the push? So if you push through from here, Like right now, if you were like, I want to get to the bomb site, I want to get the bomb that you've got the bomb, right? You're like, if I want to chuck a trophy, I want to get the bomb down, and you want to play aggressive. Like right here, this is when you need to go left. So the fact that you've gone through middle, you're watching this for 10 seconds. Now what's happened is right now, at 1 minute 14, you would have already been there, okay? So right now, you would have already been here, and you had a trophy. Then what you could have done is you could have gone up those stairs, played a bit cruddy, done a bit more. But instead, you're going now when he's already set up. So what I'm trying to say is you should be in this position before he's there, if that's what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to do, but I think it's just about executing in the right time. So yeah, let's see what happens from there. So we're gonna forward from this round. Do you kind of have any questions on that?
Nah, man, that was a terrible play.
And that's all right. So last session, right, we worked on your gun skill, okay? And we worked on some movement mechanics. We worked on snaking. We worked on the prone double jump. Now, what I've noticed from the first 2 rounds, and by the way, this happens in Search and Destroy, so it's not like oh, why are you doing this? This happens all the time, okay? And I know when I'm watching it back, it might look like you knew the play. It's just kind of breaking down the rounds for you. But right now, you've had 2 rounds where you've had no gunfights. You've died to silly mistakes from your half of pushing aggressive into the enemy situation, basically. So we haven't been able to test your gun skill. Now, I know from last video, your gun skill is pretty good, and we worked on some mechanics. So I want to see you use those mechanics, especially because you've even said to me, right, when I'm snaking, when I'm doing the double prone jump, I'm a lot better than the opponents, right? So you need to be like, okay, how can I get in the advantage? So just another point here before we move on to the next round. If you know that you're better than this level and that you should be, you know, utilizing your gun skill more, this is what I think is like just a slight difference. Like right now, instead of just dolphin diving across, why not go to the left, chuck a trophy down, and just start to scout that area? Like just trust your gun skill, because you know your gun skill is better than this level. You can have so much more success just playing here behind these boxes, getting a few kills, and then progressing across the map. Any questions on the second round? Happy with that, or?
Yeah, I've accepted my fate. You know, it is what it is.
You've accepted it, yeah. Nah, you're good, bro. Let's see what happens here. So first round, you kind of got to set up to what they're doing. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to watch the head glitch, which again is fine. I would prefer a bit forward, but that's okay. That's just a personal preference. You're going to go through. Your teammates are going through the right-hand side. So at this point, you're going to go through. And what's going on in your mind right now? What are you thinking I should be doing?
I was just gonna push like they're doing, push A.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
okay. That's
yeah.
fine. Let's play this out and see what happens.
Oh, I literally went the opposite way. What am I doing?
I mean, to be fair, I think this is all right, to be fair, because you're watching the flank. This is like, I actually don't mind this play. The one problem is your teammates have come with you. So now you guys have actually had someone dead on A. So if we look at the minimap, and this is where you need to react. Okay, let me show you. So if we look at the minimap and see when your teammate dies, and I want to see how long it takes you to react. So now your teammate's dead. So now you're in a bad situation, to be honest. Now, it's not necessarily your fault. I actually think your teammates kind of trolled because you were the last person there, so you were holding middle. I think your teammates kind of trolled by coming with you. But now you're in a situation where you guys are here, like this. This teammate's dead, and they essentially have full map control on A. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm assuming if they were a pretty good and aggressive team, they would be able to go through, get the bomb down maybe on the left-hand side, and just hold it from maybe top bedroom, bottom kind of luggage, one player here on the head glitch, watching there, one player on the flank. Like, they could just do so many different things. So me personally, if I'm in a situation like this and I'm you, I really want to stop that bomb plant. So I'm probably going to go here, chuck a nade over, or I'm going to make a flank and just commit to it because I don't have enough time to kind of make another play. So I'm curious to see what you do here, and let's just play this out. Now, again, this is where it's really important. In Search and Destroy, there's not one set decision that you make will be right. Like right now, someone that's watching this video is probably thinking, oh, I would have backed off. Like they would probably back off, go through catwalk, go through here. Or someone else might go back off completely and go through their spawn and clear it out. So that's the importance of Search and Destroy. It's not about one decision. It's about making it and just being kind of aggressive with it, being impulsive and just really sticking to that decision. So I want to see what you do here. Your teammate dies again. And I think this is kind of one of those rounds where it's slightly chalked. But yeah, let's see what you do here. With about a minute left, you're not in a great situation. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really think that's your fault, I'll be honest. I think your teammates kind of trolled. There wasn't really much for you to do. And if you get this 1v4, then that'll be something else, man. You're not saying anything, so I'm assuming you don't get the 1v4. But let's play it out. Let's see what you do here. Oh, okay, that's unlucky. That's unlucky. So yeah, in terms of that round... Sorry, what were you going to say?
I shouldn't have lost that fight, man. Like, bro, I should not have lost that. I should have won that gunfight, bro.
Okay, let's see. Let's see this gunfight then.
Shots were off, man. It is.
So, in terms of that gunfight, why did you lose it? It's interesting because you've got a very strong gun here. To be honest, I I don't really know what happened there. He looked at you, but okay, you know what it was? Honestly, it was
I think he got
headshot
the headshot.
multiplayer. Yeah, it was just a
Yeah.
headshot multiplayer. It was just one of those things where you actually shot him first, like in the kill cam as well. The thing is, he was looking at you and he could just only see your head. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, he had the same gun as you and he just hit the headshot. So it's just one of those things, man. It's quite unfortunate, but it didn't really make too much of a difference on the round. But I agree with you. That probably was a gunfight you should have won. So now you're going towards B, okay? Now, just a small play for everyone that plays in solo queue. If you want to go B right now, what do you think you could have done?
Oof.
What one thing do you think you could do? You want the team to go B, okay? So why not utilize the marking in the game? Why not spam? Why not spam through this wall? If you press it on the B bomb site, what happens if it gives a signal off? Why not spam it? Like, take control. Even if you're not comming, because I don't com, I play solo queue. I would spam that B point and just give my teammates a bit of a plan, right? Imagine they have no idea what they're doing and you're just blindly going B. By the time they react to that, it might take 20 seconds and you guys are already going to be on the back foot. So instead of waiting for them and kind of reacting to what happens in the round, just press up on the D-pad, get to B as a team, and then just start commanding the play. Now, if you're not in game chat, that's absolutely fine. Use the marking a bit more. Does that make sense? Is that kind of, like, do you agree with that or?
Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess, in my mind, in that moment, I was like, they're gonna push A, or my team is gonna defend A, and I was like, okay, or sorry, go to A, and then what I was gonna do is just watch over B, see if I can get some kills to narrow it down once we plant. Was kind of in my head at that moment, but I'm sure that was completely wrong.
Well, I don't think it's a terrible play. The thing is, right, is on this map as well, I think, especially at the level you're at, where you're trusting your gun skill a bit more, the only problem is if you're going all the way to B, and let's just say that your team's going to A because it's quite popular, and one of your teammate is watching middle, okay? Let's just say you got a setup like this, right? One teammate's watching here, one teammate is sitting here, one's got the bomb, okay? Think about it. How can they plant the bomb if you're here, this guy's watching middle, these two players, number 1 and 3, are 2 versus 4 essentially, because you don't know, you don't have like intel on what they're doing. They could send one person bottom bedroom, one person glass, one person top bedroom, and one person through middle. So they're going to be 2 versus 3, right? So how do you expect number 3 to get the bomb down when 3 people are watching over and they're going to be watching number 1? Now, it's not a bad play to watch the flank, but I think the thing with the flank is, well, what I prefer, right? What you could have done is help them for a second to go through, help them, support them for like 5 to 10 seconds. Because first of all, you know, you can start to open the blood up. And second of all, you know that if number 1 is flanking, he's not going to get there straight away, even if he pushes through. So you will go in here, right? Is that correct? Or like here?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say by the time you get there, realistically, you're going to be sitting there for about 20 seconds minimum, doing nothing and just hoping for the best. By the time this guy, even if he sprints, right, he's got dead silence and he sprints, he's not getting there for 20 seconds. So why not for the first 20 seconds, help your team? Like, say, for example, this is you, you're number 2, right? Help your team, get some gunfights, help them get a kill, and then slowly back off to these stairs. And now, depending on what number 4 is doing, you can adapt your game. Again, you can't have like a rigid playstyle. You have to adapt your game. Because what if you went to the flank and for some reason number 4 decided to sit here as well? You kind of have to like adapt the game. So that's why I feel like it's a lot better when you kind of wait to see what your teammates are doing and just work around them. So if you're number 2, you could kind of go there, watch it after your teammates watching the middle, just stuff like that. So I don't think it's a bad play, but I bet you, from my guessing, your teammates are going to go to A and they're not going to be able to really get much down. So this is my point, right? This is my point. Your teammate's with you now. So now you're in a situation where you guys got a 2-2 split on offense and it's just a lot harder to break. Now, realistically, 2 of them going there by themselves, you guys are going to have to make a play now. This is your setup. Like, as a defensive team, this is not a good setup because they might be 2v4. Yeah, or you might be 2v4. You don't know right now. So I think right now, just naturally, the setup just isn't what you want. What would you say about that?
Yeah, that makes sense because it's just like, I mean, it's just, you know, not guaranteed gunfights, right? Like, and then what if it's a 3v2, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
so
it's just so many scenarios where your team's not going to be having the favor. Where imagine if you did this instead, okay? Imagine off this break, if you went through middle and you just reacted off your teammate. So if if number 4 went to the right and you said, all right, I'm going to watch middle because that's the gap, that's fine. Because you've basically covered the gap and you've left number 1 and 2 to kind of get some kills here. That doesn't mean they have to get the bomb down. If they need extra help, you're right here. So what you've done is you've kind of blindly gone to the right, but unfortunately your teammates done the same thing. So that's something in Sudoku you have to be very careful of. You can't really just follow what you want to do without thinking about the bigger picture. Now, if you're in a dead silence and you were like, I'm going to make a play, I think you can get away with it because you can be a bit more aggressive and you can really try to control the tempo. But I think with an assault rifle, with with a trophy system, I just feel like you're a lot more beneficial kind of watching middle or the left. But let's see what happens there. So you're going through and you're going to go through middle, which is okay. I don't mind this play. But yeah, let's kind of see what happens. So one thing that's good here is they've given up a lot of map control. But the bad thing is your teammate's getting the bomb at B and no one's watching over him. So you guys already are kind of setting up for failure if that guy dies here. I think he'll get away with it, but let's see what happens. So you go through. Okay, so I think you got very fortunate that no one pushed their bottom bedroom. So at this point, if I'm you, I'm thinking, right, somebody's probably on my right because I've not seen anyone in middle. No one's shot a bullet on the left, so I need to be careful of my flank here. This is where you got to be a bit more wary. And I'm guessing somebody will come on your right here. Let's kind of see how this plays out. Okay, so your team may actually get some kills. So yeah, that was just a really weird round.
That was really weird. Goodness.
I feel like they kind of trolled the offense team because your teammate planted the bomb with no one watching over and he got away with it. So I don't know what the other team did there, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, fair enough. But does that make sense what I was saying at the beginning? Good shots right there. Good shots.
Yeah, that did make sense. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So yeah, again, and another thing I want for all the viewers watching as well is sometimes you're gonna have rounds like that where you win. That doesn't mean you all as a team made the right play. It could even mean that the other team just had absolutely no clue what they're doing, which I kind of think happened in that round, to be honest. But let's see what happens there. You're gonna push through the top bedroom. You're gonna see what you can do. You got the trophy to work with still. Okay, so you know they're on the right hand side now, right? So you've seen some equipment fly by, so you know they're gonna be somewhere there. So let's see how you play this. Good, so you use your stun grenade, that's good. Good use of equipment. That guy's making you one shot. Okay, that's fine. You're gonna back off. So you're kind of just shouldering it slowly, which I don't mind. Now, I mean, this isn't a bad play. I think you guys are just kind of waiting for intel. And yeah, sometimes you're not going to really have much engagement, and that's fine. You know what? Fair enough. That was fine. You didn't do anything wrong there. I think you kind of just played the round out and just kind of let it happen. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that was fine. Do you have any kind of thoughts on that round? Anything you think?
No, I mean, it played out pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think that was fine. I think one thing just to be careful of against slightly better players, if you're going to be on this top bedroom area, that wallbang is very, very popular. And one thing you don't want to do is get caught out here, especially with these curtains. They're really thin, so you don't want to get caught out and get wallbanged, which almost happened to you. So just be a bit careful, like as you kind of peek, you do not want to get wallbanged from there. So like right now, if a better player was there or two of them, they probably could have killed you, and it's just like really unfortunate. But yeah, overall, man, I think it was good. Just yeah, be slightly careful of that wallbang spot. Gonna go through to the next round. Let's kind of see what you guys do on the next offense. So you've got bomb once again. So you've got your trophy system as well. So I want to see what you do here. So you're gonna go through middle. So you're watching the right archers. Your teammate's watching the right. You're gonna go through. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's see if you use a trophy system.
Oh, so goodness, what am I doing?
Yeah, I think right now it's just like, I just feel like I don't agree with the middle play, in my opinion, just because I feel like you've got the bomb. You just kind of want to start going for that bomb. Like, you don't need mid-map control as much as you need the left side of the map. And right now, where's your like goal here? Just to kind of wait for a pick?
I guess so. I mean, yeah, like I guess that's what it was. It was really, let me.
I mean, again, it's not a bad play. It's just me personally. I just feel like there's so much more success kind of going to the left and just kind of watching over your team and just kind of getting the bomb down. But that's okay. Let's see what happens. 2 versus 3. Now you're in a situation where it's going to get very tough for you guys because everyone's dead. Going to push through. Yeah, I just don't think the playstyle you're trying to go with is really like matching your equipment setup as well. I feel like right now for this game, I don't think you've used your trophy system once. So I would have been a lot more happy if you use a dead silence, because you're trying to play a bit more like Freddy, a bit more flanky, and you really can't do that without dead silence. So if you want to play like this, I think it's much more beneficial for you to run dead silence, just because, especially the fact that you're not really getting the bomb down, you're not really using your trophy as much. I feel like just mix it up, use dead silence, and that way you can make those plays. You know, a lot of the rounds you're trying to flank and stuff, you can actually do that with dead silence and it'll be a lot more rewarding. So like right now you go through, you know, this guy's one shot, you're going to chuck a stun over. So yeah, let's see what happens there. So right there was actually just really like bad kind of timing, because what actually ended up happening, I'm not sure if you're aware, you actually end up chucking your stun too short. So what happened is you chucked your stun, but it actually bounced here. That's why I didn't get a hit marker. So I think you thought you stunned him and then you went for the push. If you actually got the stun off, you would have got that kill. So you're gonna go through. And do you remember what we spoke about the last time with the dolphin dive? In this scenario here, you do not want to dolphin dive, because what happens is when you dolphin dive, right? You dolphin dive for two reasons. One is to reset your tactical sprint, which is not very necessary right now because you're in a gunfight. You don't want tac sprint. And the other one is you dolphin dive off a ledge to get momentum. Now, right now, you dolphin dive into the floor, I guess, to get into cover. But right now, you're like sprint to fire for the next 2 seconds is just so off. And this gunfight, I think you really just set yourself up for failure. And what I would like to see you do is, instead of dolphin dive around in the corner, is, you know, he's going to be in this right here, okay? So pre-aim him, you know, center him a bit more, jump around the corner. Instead, look what you're doing. So as you got up, instead of pre-aiming that right, first of all, I don't like the dolphin dive, because what happens is your gun goes down, it resets your attack sprint, everything goes wrong with it. It's only better when you're kind of running away from something or running towards something. But in a gunfight, you want to jump around the corner instead. Look what happens, right? As soon as you dolphin dive, you get up, right? Now look where you're aiming. You know the guy's on the right, and you're aiming at the wall. So as soon as you get up, right, look at this. You have to adjust, go right, and he's already shot you. Now by the time you jump around the corner, look, you basically already dead. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you look at it from his POV, okay, you skipped it, that's fine. But I was gonna say, like, all you had to do there was kind of just jump around the corner, be a bit more confident in your gun skills, center onto the right hair. Instead, you kind of went around the corner, you dolphin dived, you center to the wall, and then you had to adjust. So by the time you looked at him, you kind of set yourself up for failure, because he already got some shots off you. So right there was just a lot of small kind of micro decisions that really didn't help your case. So with the stun grenade missing, and then the kind of gunfight. But again, all these little things I think can be adjusted, and over time you'll get a lot better. But are you happy with that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Perfect. Yeah, as long as you're learning and stuff, like, so like next time you have that gunfight, if you think, right, as long as I center onto him slightly better, because centering something we spoke about last time as well, I think it'll be a lot more beneficial. Now this is another thing I want to talk about, okay? This gun is good, but in my opinion, it's not like a laser, right? Now, I was waiting for something like this to happen, so now's a good time to talk about it. Do you notice how I said that I don't like this area here? I just think this area here where you're sitting, I'll tell you the only time I think it's beneficial, right? If you're playing Hardpoint on Hotel, and you guys are covering P3, then I think it's very, very beneficial. Because what ends up happening is you got a lot more time to react to anything, okay? Because they have to push you through this gate, right? So you have a lot more time to kind of play creddy, snake this, back off. Because what you're trying to do in that instance, you're trying to stay alive. You're not necessarily just going for kills, but you're trying to stay alive. So if somebody peeks out of arches and they're looking at you, you've got a lot more of a difficult gunfight for them to hit you with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So in, like, because it's a longer gunfight, right? The distance is longer. You're more likely to stay alive. You can finesse, you can back off. That's why I think it's good in Hardpoint, because you're trying to hold this side of the map. Where in Search and Destroy, your goal isn't to hold that side of the map, because that's your spawn. Your goal is to, one, get map control, and two, to punish anybody. Your goal is to punish anybody that comes through arches or through this middle. Now, where you're sitting is number 4, where I'm sitting is number 2. You are a lot more likely to get the kill if you're sitting at number 2 spot than number 4. Now, if you're worried about somebody coming through here, for example, then that's fine. Sit there in the beginning and then back off slightly. But what you've done is you've stayed here, and for you to reach this guy here, it's just such a, like, although it doesn't look like a big difference, those extra, like, meters actually make a big difference in terms of hitting your shots. And this is exactly what ends up happening. So you go through, you're playing very deep. Now, my bet basically was, if you were standing here, I think you get that kill. But look at the difference. You have to go through, and you have to basically kill this guy. So you have to wait for him, you spot him. So you see that you got some shots off, and you basically did everything well, but because you're so far, it was a lot harder. Now, if you stood here, I really think you get the kill. So just small little decisions like that could really kind of help your game and overall kind of just improve the gunfights. But is that you that marked it? That's good. Good marks. At least you're letting the teammates know what's happening. You're going to push through here. Now, let's kind of see how you react from this. So you've done the same thing every defense. There you go. So you spot one. Not a bad play. You make him one shot. You're going to mark it. I don't like this play in terms of staying here. But again, that's just me personally. I probably would have just, you know, rotated to the right. I think it's good so far. You're doing all right. You go through, chuck a stun. You know what? You did good that round. You did good. So sometimes I think it's not just about getting the kills. It's about playing for information, staying alive, helping your teammates. I think you did that pretty well there. But now you're in a 2 versus 1. And you basically know that the opponent... Let's see when your teammate dies. So your teammate dies there, okay? So you basically know that they're going to be if we go back to search and destroy, you know, which I think you're doing anyways, but you know that that enemy is going to be somewhere here. So your goal right now is to trap him in this area. Like, you don't want him to escape here. You want him to be trapped in here. So I guess you're doing a good job of that. You're kind of just shutting down the angles. Your teammates here. But this is where you have to be very careful, because what you want to do is you want to make sure this guy's staying in this quadrant here, this area here. But at the same time, you want to be close enough to your teammate where you can get the trade if need be. Like, if shit hits the fan, your teammate dies, you want to be able to get the trade. So let's see how you kind of play this. So you're going to push through the middle. Now, I personally prefer to play with your teammate here, which is exactly what you do. So really good play. You're going through, helping your teammate. And that way you can just really go for the 2v1 together. So let's see how this one plays out. Do you remember this round? What happens?
I do not.
Okay, so we can react together then. So right now your teammate's going through there. I mean, you're seeing in a bit of a weird angle. Yeah, see, this is where I think the problem happens. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like, you're with your teammate right here. Now, don't get me wrong. I think both of you don't need to push this. So I think you've done the right play by backing off. But this is so important. If anyone watching as well can really get one thing, if you guys can learn one thing from this video, it's going to be this bit here. If you're in a situation like this, right? It doesn't matter who's making the right play. You just have to commit together. Now, you're playing solo queue, so you can't talk to this teammate unless you're using your mic, obviously. But right now, if your teammate's making the wrong play and pushing through, even though it's the wrong play, you need to do it with them, because you're basically leaving it to chance right now. Look what ends up happening, okay? That player goes through by itself, and again, you're just leaving it to chance, and it actually ends up going against you, ends up dying. So now you know that there's somewhere around here. But this is actually anyone's game, because they've still got 20 seconds to work with. Now, chances are, it's very unlikely, in my opinion, that they can get to B in time. So if I was you, I'm running to bottom bedroom. I'm turning around, I'm sprinting to bottom bedroom, because I think they're going bottom. I think they're going A, like 90% chance. So let's see what you do here. So you're actually going to go through, you're going to try to commit to the gunfight. Yeah, so this is not a good play, okay? I know you won it, but this is what I really want to address here. This is a terrible play, because you're going for the trade with 20 seconds left, and you're having your knife out. You got to remember, you don't have dead silence. You're running out in the open. This guy should have been able to win this gunfight. You go through, he shot you first, but you outreacted him. So it's good kill from your half. But what I'm trying to get you to be is trying to get you to be more consistent. And right there, that wasn't a consistent round win. In my opinion, if you do that 10 times, you're winning that 1 out of 10 times. Now, you won that gunfight purely on talent and skill. But as you come up against better and better players, that's not going to happen. If you go up against a Crimson or a Diamond right there, and he hears you running towards him, he's probably pre-firing you right here. So right there, although you won this gunfight, I want you to think, okay, what could I have done differently? So although I won, I probably should have played with him, because I was a gold player, right? Now against a better player, you're probably not winning that. But that was a good gunfight. You used your mechanics really well. So I want to highlight that. It was really good. You go through, you actually mantle there by accident, but you actually make up for it. You drop shot, and you actually end up doing really well. So well done on the gunfight. But in terms of consistency, I just don't think that was the best play.
Okay, that makes sense.
Are you happy with that? Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, totally. That is definitely fair.
Okay, perfect. Now, another thing as well, I don't want you to think it was your fault, because I actually think it was your teammate's fault. Because in that situation, you actually had a good play watching middle, and all they had to do essentially was watch, like, they could have just backed off on this head glitch and watched this area here, and you guys would have won the round. So I don't think that was your fault, but you kind of have to sometimes compromise and just play with your teammates just because for the round win. So happy with that? Does that make sense? I don't think it was your fault, and I want to really kind of point that just point that out to you, that I think you made a better play and they should have played with you, but yeah, unfortunately they didn't. But good clutch anyways, man. You managed to go through. Now, not every one-on-one's going to be clean, so sometimes it's good to get those scrappy wins, especially when you don't know exactly where they're going to be. So fair play, good shots, and yeah, you won that round. So you're going to go through here. You spot somebody on the left. I think you started tweaking there. That's your teammate there, I think. Yeah.
Was it my teammate? Oh,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah. Problem, yeah. Yeah, so I think you started tweaking there, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I heard footsteps. Yo, footsteps be tripping me out in this game, man. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I'm gonna kill you anyway, bro.
So you stunned the team and then you re-challenge this middle area. So one thing about what you did, which is a very common thing, and I do in my own game as well, is as you go around this corner, okay? You go around, you pre-aim him. You know someone's there. Now, you know he saw you. So from his POV, the direct sight that he had was on you, okay? Now, he's number 4, you're going to be number 4, right? Just to make it easy. So as you go through arches once, this number 4 is now pre-aiming you, okay? You've backed off and then come back again. So you've given him that extra second to react and kill you. That's basically what happened. Sorry, I got to sneeze. So you go through, you stun your teammate, which is a great play. I always recommend that. And then you go back here, and once again, you're kind of shouldering this for information. But look at this, like, by the time you aim in, like, this isn't a gunfight you want to challenge. And this is what we spoke about earlier about your centering. I think sometimes you don't realize in the game, but when we really slow it down, like, how likely are you to win this gunfight? Look how you actually play this, right? So you go through, you spot him, you're like, cool, I'm going to go through, you back off. Now I want you to really, like, watch this with me here. So you go through now. Look at this. Every second you're adjusting, he's already looking at you, and you're trying to take out the sofa right now. You're trying to take out the couch. By the time you're adjusted, you've already died. So this is a gold player. Now imagine a platinum, imagine a crimson, a diamond. As the levels get up, you have less margin of error, and you have to be a bit more reliable on. So you're not reliable. You have to be a bit more kind of careful with the way you do it. Now this is a gold player using a Vaznev. Imagine a diamond using a TAC 56. You know what I mean? You're gonna have less room of error. And look at it from his POV. Oh, you skip it. Okay. It's fine. Next time if you play Search and Destroy, by the way, next time if you have a session, try to watch the kill cams. That way we can kind of break it down from their POV, because I think that'll be a lot more beneficial as well. You can see what I'm talking about. So right there, you would have been able to see that you were like an easy target. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. Totally fine.
Just so like it can help both of us. Like you can see, oh, that's what you did. So yeah, your teammates go through. They actually end up losing the round, which is okay. I don't think you did terrible there. I think you kind of just wanted to stun your teammate, which is absolutely fine. I like that play from you. I don't know what he did to you, but yeah, you're gonna stun him. Gonna go through now. Let's see what you do. So you're gonna mix things up here. So what was the reason for like SMG change? What did you think happened? What was the reason?
I was missing shots for some odd reason. Like I'm really good with the TAC 56, but as of late I've been over adjusting for some odd reason. Don't know why. But the only gun that I've been consistent with from day one has been the Vaznev. That thing is nasty, and you'll see it. I was nasty with this thing, bro.
Okay,
I don't know. Then. So that's why I changed it up, just because I was like, okay, well, I need to hit shots. I keep missing, so.
Oh no, there's no problem with that, bro. Yeah, I think it's good to adapt. So you're gonna go through middle. You're gonna chuck a stun over. So do you remember the first round I told you what you could have done?
Right.
When I said you could chuck a stun and then go through the right hand side, that's what you end up doing this round. Now, so you know what to do. And I think it's just this way is a look. I think this is just a lot better. I think you missed your stun there, but if you hit your stun in there and then rotate to help your teammate, I personally prefer that. But again, there's so many ways of playing. It just depends what you want to do. Now you know they're going to be on the left. I don't know what stock you're running. I've never seen that one, but if it works for you, let's see how it works. You go through. You're going to chuck a nade over, so you spot one player there. So let's see how you approach this. So you're going to back off. Yeah, good. I was going to say maybe prone. Now I'm hoping, was this gameplay recorded after our last coaching session?
Yeah,
I'm hoping you do the double prone jump. If I don't see the double prone jump, I'll be very disappointed. Let's see what. So we see what we're working with. Oh no, I'm worried. I better see the double prone jump. Okay, I'm ready for it. Okay, so he gets the bomb down. You run away. Your teammate's on the left now. So I think one thing for sure is, in a situation like this, it's quite difficult because you're 3 versus 4. But I don't know what I could say here, but I just think giving the bomb for free is quite difficult. You guys maybe should make some more noise. Maybe you reposition, go to the right, just get some shots off, just do something. Because right now you can tell that they're getting the bomb down, and maybe just peek it, like shoulder it, just get a bit more kind of mixy with it. And right now you guys basically gave them a free bomb plant, but let's see what happens there. So as soon as the bomb goes down, you turn around and yeah, your teammate dies, which is terrible timing. And at this point, I think you just got to go for it, man. I think you just got to go for it. Not much you can do, but you actually get very, very fortunate right there. So again, I want you to notice what happened. You went straight, but you didn't look left. And it's kind of the same principle we spoke about earlier, is you got lucky in this case, but imagine if this guy wasn't an idiot and he looked at you. Like, imagine if this guy was just playing like stairs and he looked at you instead. So just be a bit more wary like, as you're approaching this. Pre-aim this, but look left. Like, right now, you didn't look left. You kind of did now, but you're not aimed in, you're running. You weren't really going for the pre-aim. Like, imagine this guy was here. Do you know what I mean? Just be a bit more careful, a bit more wary, but good job there. You played aggressive, and I really like that. As soon as the bomb went down, you're like, right, I need to play aggressive. I need to push through. I think you got quite fortunate there getting that kill. You turn around, the guy's behind you, 2 versus 1. Yeah, okay, not a bad play. 30 seconds left. I think you got to go for this. Good play, good play. I like that. I would have preferred the double prone jump just to be safe, but that's all right. We'll give it to you. You won the gunfight. With 20 seconds left here, you just got to go for it there. You really have to go for it. I think you're hoping that he pushes you, and you always have to assume that they're not going to push you, especially in a 1v1. You have to get the bomb defused. I think you go for it. You spot him there. So yeah, I think what ended up happening was, as soon as you win this gunfight here, right, let me give you a bit of what I think here, okay? So everyone that's watching as well, right here, there's 2 things that the opponent could have done, okay? So as soon as he sees you back off here, any good team, okay, like say you're versing the pros right here, they either jump around the corner and kill you, but I actually think the more likely option right there, what they would do and what you should have done in this situation if you're the opponent, not you. You were number one, right? Let's just say you're positioned here. You're one shot, so you have to watch this corner. There was 2 of them. That player overcommitted. All they had to do was one of them sits bottom bedroom there, one of them sits top bedroom, and they just pre-aimed this area. They pre-aimed that cross, that's it. And then if you had to flank all the way around, honestly, that would have taken another 10 seconds and then push through here. They would have been able to see that. So in terms of that, I just wanted to kind of point that out for everyone else watching as well. With 30 seconds left, if you're the opponents, you just back off. You know where he is. He's not really much danger for you, but you did a good job, and you see what he did. He kind of dove through. Great shot right there. Now, I think the real problem here is you don't have a lot of time to work with, so I kind of see what you're doing, but I just think you have to kind of commit to it. As soon as you get your health back right here, every second now is so crucial. Like right now, you just need to commit for it and really just go for it. I was very unlucky, to be honest. You did what you could. You win like a 1 versus 2, so fair play. I don't blame you there, to be honest. You did a good job though. You did a good try. You played aggressive when you needed to, so fair enough. Good play from you. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to clutch everything. So let's see what we do on this next round. Your team. Whoa, shot teammate. What are you doing there? What? Shotzi went rogue. Nah, Shotzi just went rogue on you. What the hell? Is it? Did you stun Shotzi earlier? Is that why?
I think so. Yeah, it was.
So Shotzi was a bit mad at you.
Yeah, it was. It's okay.
Fair enough. So yeah, even here, you're going to dolphin dive off. Again, try to practice that little ledge jump we did just to get a bit more momentum, but that's okay. Go through. Now, I just think it's very risky getting the bomb down. And again, you didn't really check this area. Like, this is such a powerful area. You know, bottom hotel, like bottom bedroom? Like, you've got your equipment. I mean, me personally, I don't like getting the bomb down, especially when you're down by numbers. I just think it's so risky. But we're going to go with it. Let's see what happens from there. So now you've got the bomb down, you're going to push through, and you know what? Fair enough. You committed to your plan. I don't mind this. So let's see what happens there. So you're going to push through. You're playing aggressive with the SMG. I really like this play from you. I like it. I think with the door open... Okay, Shotzi's not happy with you guys.
Oh,
so you're going to go through the bottom. Pre-aim it. Going to go through bottom bedroom. Again, you've got your equipment to work with, so let's see how this one plays out. Okay, 1 versus 3. Yeah, this one's short. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It was a rat, dog. It was a rat.
So, I mean, to be honest, it was a bit chalked, but one thing I personally think right here, you have to remember, when you get the bomb down, you ideally want to have numbers, okay? I think getting bombed down without numbers is a very, very risky play because you give them the advantage because they can retake and they can bring you out of hiding. So if that was me right now, in all honesty, if I have an SMG, and you know you have more gun skill, you know you can like track them better, I would have just, if you're going to play this aggressive, go for it. I would have gone up these stairs, pre-aim this left side, and just start to go through, start to finesse, start to walk around corners, go to top bedroom, and just get a flank off, get a kill, and just play a bit more credit. Like when you planted this, I was going to see how it worked out, but I honestly thought like it's very, very unlikely you're going to win this round because planting the bomb 3 versus 4 is just so difficult. I mean, fair enough for going for the bomb plant. I don't think it's a bad play, but I would have preferred you getting a few kills and kind of pushing out for it. But again, there's so many different ways of playing. I just want to give you my perspective. In terms of everything else, I think you did good in terms of going through, you repositioned. I would have, like, right here, probably gone left as well. I like to go up the left stairs. I think it's quite unfortunate you didn't have your dead silence. If you had your dead silence, you probably could have made more of a play. But you know what? Fair play is not your fault. And yeah, it's got quite unlucky with that one. But that's okay, man. It wasn't a bad game from you. I think a lot of the early rounds, you lost some gunfights. I think you should have. And the fact that you went 5 and 7, I feel like you could have easily gone like 10, at least like 10 kills in my opinion. I think there was at least 5 opportunities for you to get the kill. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, technically, like, I feel like if I would have just started, well, one, if I would have just started out with the Vaznev, because like you saw how aggressive I was playing with the
So what's the key point there? What you just said, starting off with the Vaznev. I think starting off with attack is fine, but the point was, when did you switch? This is why I always talk about my videos. It's not about how you start, but it's about how you adapt. Okay. You could have easily got 5 kills with attack and be like, right, this is my game with attack 56. That's okay that you started off with it, but the fact that you didn't switch till what round? This is when you switch. You're like, all right, I've had enough of this shit. Look, when you switched 4-4, you don't have a lot of margin for room of error. You don't have a big margin right now because if they win 1 round, they're 1 round away from victory. So you've waited 8 rounds for a potential of 2 more rounds in the game. So maybe you could have switched at 2-2. Maybe 3-2, do you know what I mean? So just switching slightly earlier, if you know it's not working, is probably a better play, I think, in my opinion.
Okay, that makes sense.
But again, it's up to you, man. I think that's something you can be flexible with, but the fact that you said to me, I knew I was better with the Vaz right now, I was playing more aggressive, I needed that aggression, I think that just comes down to analysing your own gameplay and thinking, right, I should do it earlier because it will help me out more, so stuff like that. But YouTube, that's gonna be it for this session. We're gonna jump into a private game, but I'm not gonna have that on recording. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to get involved with some coaching as well, the Discord will be in my description, so make sure to join up and yeah, just drop me a DM and I'll be happy to get you guys involved. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one.